let's move on a little bit and talk
All right.
about the MLS.
MLS, all right. Yeah,
MLS.
Charlotte.
Yeah,
Charlotte.
let's go. We
Yes,
got
I know.
about 12 more months.
12 more months.
It's gonna be
man.
good. I think 2021, like we'll have so much stuff to talk about with players, with
Yeah,
managers. We were
that's
talking
right.
about that.
Yeah, I think, just 2020, right after the holidays, right? You know, the transfer windows opened up in January.
Yep.
Maybe there's another player we pick up and
Let's
send
say,
him
man.
straight
Well,
out.
do you know something that we don't know that you want to release now?
I can't. Tepper told me not to. I can't give up all my secrets, you know.
Nice,
We need
man.
viewers too.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to discuss was there was 2 expansion teams this year.
Yep.
You had Inter Miami
Yep.
had their inaugural season, and so did Nashville.
Yep.
2 different teams, 2 different, I want to say, styles,
Yep.
2 different perspectives, you know, because Inter Miami, you heard them all over the news,
Yeah.
right? Because you
Oh,
got
you
Beckham, it's so much flash, you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
players in Europe.
It's Miami, right?
Is he going to sign Cavani? Is he
Yeah.
going to sign Suarez?
Yeah.
Nashville,
Yeah.
you had to like know the MLS. Oh, okay, we got Nashville coming in, right?
Yeah.
Totally different perspective.
Right.
But like looking at these 2 clubs, I think there's certain things that Charlotte can take and learn from.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. I mean, I think we like you said off air, we were talking about it with Nashville started from the back, right, and just kind of secured that point.
Yeah.
I've always been a big firm believer of that. You know, you start at the back and move your way forward. Some people talk about the spine, right? Where
Yeah.
you just kind of do down the middle and then build out around it. You know, and then you got other teams like, you know, not to go back onto Liverpool, but like the year before they won the league, they were just trying to outscore folks,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, to me, clean sheets is it. Right?
Yeah.
If you can keep those clean sheets,
Yeah.
all you have to do is nick that 1 goal.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true, man.
And you don't have to go get 4 or 5. So you don't need somebody that's just banging them in left and right. You can just, you know, get that lucky header, that deflection or
Yeah,
whatever.
man.
And
I mean, the reason we had like 5 or 6 games, Liverpool, where they won 1-0 last
Yeah.
year, right?
that's it. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
You don't
Man
need to
U-
win 5-4 every game.
Right, man, you were known for that, right? When they
Yeah.
when Fergie's year, man, they were just always doing it. But yeah, back to the MLS, you know, like you said, I think I don't know if it's a good thing for Inter Miami or not, but having all that flash around them, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of expectation on them right away. Kind of like when the Galaxy first came out, right? It's
Yep.
like a big city, everybody wants to be there. You know, you got all
Yeah.
all the movie stars and all these players, right? Just wanting to be there, like at the Lakers or whatever, right? Just to kind of show their face, like they're
Yeah.
part of the in crowd. But then you get teams like Nashville, right, where you know,
Yeah, man.
it's
I think
off the grid a little bit.
yeah,
right?
they were kind of off the grid, but like they've invested in their youth academies, which is something that we're
Charlotte's
doing,
solid, man.
right? Like they did a good job of like working a back line and getting a decent goalkeeper.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, with the win against Inter Miami in the playoffs, that was their 10th clean sheet that they kept
Yeah.
out of 18 to 20 games, whatever was played this year.
Yep.
But I'm like, okay, like there was something that they knew, like, okay, like we need to make the playoffs. That would be good,
Yep.
right?
Well,
And now-
short-term goals, right?
Yeah, short-term goals. They did that. Now they beat a team in the playoffs, which
Yep.
were the first team to do it in over a decade, I believe,
Right.
which is pretty cool. And like, okay, like now they're playing Toronto. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But still, you can categorize that as successful,
Yeah.
right? Versus Miami, yeah, they made a playoff, but they squeezed in there. They were the 10th seed,
Yeah.
right? And
Well,
the first game that they played, they got smashed 3-0 by
Yeah.
Nashville.
right.
Both of these teams had negative goal differences
Right.
going in, but I think, like, you're right, like, just having that pressure from Inter Miami, like, all that flash,
Yeah.
I think kind of worked against them. And even when you sign great players like Higuain,
Yeah.
you signed Rodolfo Pizarro
Yeah.
from Mexico, and
Right,
so
right.
he's a great player, right? And then you sign Blas Matuidi as well.
Right.
Like, you were expecting them to do a little bit better than what they actually did. If anything, I feel like they underperformed
Yeah.
based on what we've saw.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, the other thing about Miami has been right, and again, we talked about this before we started, is with the COVID, if they played anybody really strong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they beat Atlanta 3 times and drew with them 4th time. I mean, Atlanta's having a shit year.
Yeah,
right?
they are.
I mean, there's no way around it, right? They lost the manager, they lost the star player.
Josef Martinez, yeah.
Right?
He
And
got
so
ACL injury.
They're kind of rebuilding, right? And they, you know, and so Miami, they barely snuck in. They barely were beating teams that were crap in my opinion
Yeah.
this year, anyways, right? But they haven't played anybody like a Nashville.
Yeah.
Right? Nashville's been solid, man.
Yeah, or they haven't played anybody like a Seattle Sounders, a
Seattle,
Toronto,
Philly, right?
Yeah, like teams that are like established,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's see you against established
Yeah.
teams, right?
Yeah.
Which I think the Western Conference is always a little bit stronger than
Right.
the East.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm pulling for KC on the playoffs.
Really?
See how that
Okay,
goes.
yeah.
Shout out to Lindsay there, man, from Charlotte.
Yeah,
So-
I see Sounders sneaking to the final again, man. Somehow I feel like these guys,
Yeah.
like they go under the radar,
They
but
are,
you got
man.
players like Nicolas Lodeiro, who's
Yep.
just great midfielder. Like, okay,
Sure.
like you got a good team, and then they pop into the final and boom, they
Yeah.
win it.
Yeah, I know, man.
Right, there was like 3 or 4 seasons that like it was Toronto versus Seattle Sounders, which I thought was hilarious.
Right? Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Orlando's a good team too.
Yeah, they are.
They've kind of, even when they would play in the MLS is back tournament, that was a team I was like thinking was solid, right? I mean,
They got Nani, they got DK up top, who was a
Yep.
player that came from a team in Virginia.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that kid looks good. He looks like
Yeah.
he's gonna be European
They've
bound.
got they play well together as a team, in my opinion, right? They were probably one of the teams that try to play out of the back versus just doing those long balls, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty. It'd be interesting to see, man.
Yeah.
Orlando versus Seattle, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be good. I think that's a couple things that Charlotte could take away. Let's
Yeah.
see what kind of like we had this discussion before, like
Yeah.
defense or offense.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's see what we could do with the defense. If there's interesting players out there that we can get,
Yeah.
let's grab them. Our designated player needs to be somebody with leadership skills,
Right.
right? I think
Yeah.
that's the number one thing.
Yeah, like a good general, right?
Yeah.
Sitting in the middle of the park,
100%.
but
I don't even care if they're the most
no,
talented.
they don't have to be the most
Yeah.
talented, right? They just gotta have the respect of the locker room
100%.
and just be able to get stuck in and not be scared.
Yep.
Right? Just balls to the wall, man. But the other thing I wanted to point out was Zoran come out with that article that they posted on the Charlotte FC website, right? Talking about the manager and that sort of thing too,
Yeah.
right? So it sounds like the academy's solid. Those boys have done us. I couldn't be prouder of those guys, man. They have just coming together, COVID, right, and then just gaining the respect, I feel like, of the MLS Next program. And then they were talking about bringing in some youth up through, right, homegrown players.
Yep.
And then obviously they're getting picked up a couple of players, but then they realize, hey, it's time to stop, right? We'll get the players if they're available that we got our eye on, but we're not going to just go get a bunch of players and expect the manager to make them gel. They're going to kind of slow it down. Sounds like they're going to get the manager in and allow him to kind of help pick the players they want.
Which I think is important. I think we've had this discussion about manager systems before, but I'm okay with you guys having a system. Okay, like this is how we play, but okay, bring a manager in that identifies with that philosophy and let him help you guys out, right?
Yeah.
Because no one's expecting us to win the whole thing the first season.
No,
right?
There's a lot of pressure on us.
Yeah,
I feel
man.
though, man. Don't
But
you?
I do, because I feel like it's growing, right? But I think success would be like what Nashville's doing, man. Let's make a playoff.
If we make it to the playoff,
and then if we win a game in a playoff and make the next round, that's great,
golden,
man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially because 10 teams qualify to like 13.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like there's really not like you have to be
those 3 teams, man. But again, though, we got Austin coming in, right? So I'd be kind of curious to see how they do. So I feel like, and again, our backroom staff, right? They had a lot to do with New York when they were creating their team. So I feel like they've learned their lessons, right?
Yeah.
We kind of see what worked and what didn't, right? We're kind of seeing what's happening with Nashville, Miami, right?
Yeah.
Now we got Austin. We can kind of keep an eye and see what they're doing.
I think I might go to that inaugural game, so we'll see.
Austin?
Yeah.
I might go with you, man.
All right, man.
Trip, man. We just go.
That's it. You guys heard it here, man.
Yeah, I did. He's paying.